So our speaker today, Dianne Stewart Hamlin, I bet almost all of you already know her. She just wrapped a class yesterday. She's been teaching classes here, and she'll be doing a visioning board workshop in January. Her students love her. We love her. Please welcome Dianne Stewart Hamlin.
Good morning. So, I never thought of the harp and the bongo drums together before, did you? It just goes to show that, you can put anything together and make magic and make beautiful things. So, I want to say welcome to Centers for Spiritual Living DC, and I don't think anybody's here for the first time, but if you are here for the first time, please know that you're welcome here and we hope to see you again. I am very grateful for Reverend Alex and for everyone that put so much into making sure that we have this place to meet and we have this place to share our journey in, so thank you. I wanted to talk a little bit about the rock and what the rock is, since the subject is, or the topic is, drop the rock and get into alignment with your soul. So when that came through, initially I had, as always, I had this one idea of what the rock would look like and what dropping it would look like. And of course, it was very visual, and then I sat with that and I thought, well, what does that mean? If I drop the rock, I'm really clear that I'm no longer weighted down by the burden of whatever the rock was. So the question is, where did the rock come from? If I have a rock that apparently I'm carrying around, where did it come from? And how are these things formed? And we know that rocks are formed by debris. They're formed by the dust and crud that builds up around the core of a particular thing. And then over time, they just grow and become these big boulders in our lives. And some of us have many little rocks, many little things that we carry around. Some of us have lots of little pebbles, and some of us are just schlepping big boulders over our shoulders. Can't even pick them up. We're pulling them behind us because we've carried this debris around for so long. So as I'm going through the week, the topic comes through. No, that's not how it goes. Reverend Alex sends me a text or a message going, you know what time it is, and I think, I don't know what I'm going to talk about. And then a topic comes through, and my next thought is, well, what does that mean? And when it was drop the rock, I kind of could get a visual because I could see a rock and I could see the burden of it, and I got that part. And then, I'm just kind of meandering through my week, doing what I do. And things start to come together to show me what it looks like. So one of the things I'm doing is I'm decluttering. Moved back here 4 years ago, and have boxes I have not yet opened. So I started going through boxes, and I thought, okay, I know what's in these boxes. I know what kind of stuff I'm schlepping around, right? I'm dragging around. Over here, let's pull out these boxes. And I start decluttering. And some of the coolest things started coming up. So I'm sitting with this box, and I start taking things out, and here are some of the questions I'm asking myself. Where did you get this? Who gave this to you? What is this? Why do you still have this? Okay, so it really kind of opened up for me right away. Boom, there's the rock. All the stuff we schlep around in our lives. Let's start with, where did you get this? Okay, where did you get the belief system by which you live your life? And does it serve you? Whose idea was it for you to go to work and come home and make dinner and have a drink and go to bed? Whose idea was that? Who gave you the happy hour idea that says, I get off work, I get a drink, the day is done, and why do you live your life from that place? Like, where did you get this idea from? Does it serve you? Does it allow you to be productive in your life and to do the things you want to do in your life? Let's say, for example, you want to be active and you want to exercise. Does getting off work and going to happy hour, where they probably have a platter full of fried things, and a big old glass or jug of whatever it is, or lots of little frou-frou pretty glasses of whatever it is, does that help you to do the things you want to do? Let's say, for example, at the end of the day, we always start off with the best intention. So it's the beginning of the week, and my best intention is this week I'm going to unpack 3 boxes, I'm going to do all these things. And then things start to happen, and I start to fall into the belief system, the happy hour belief system. And then it's Thursday, and I haven't even moved a box. Because all I was able to manage was the belief system that says you get up, you go to work. Oh, you worked hard, you've earned a drink. You've also earned this big burger and these juicy fries. Let's go. And you do that. And so where did you get that concept? Who sold it to you, and why do you believe it? And the question is this what I want for my life? Is this how I want to show up in the world? Does this serve the things that I really desire in my core? Because if you think about it, any time that you get still, you're really clear in your core what you want. And the only way to have the things that you truly desire, not the surface stuff, but the things that you truly desire from in your soul, is to make space in your life for it. If you want to be spiritual and have a love journey like we heard about this morning, then you've got to make space in your life for spirituality. You have to make space in your life for a love journey. You have to make space in your life to have the things unfold in your life that you truly desire. Now, where did I get this? Okay, what is this? And why am I living my life with this as part of my life? What is this belief system? What is this idea? Why is this thing taking up space in my daily activities? What is it? Look at it. Why am I living from it? And why is it even a part of my life? Identifying the challenges that get in the way. Identify the blockage that gets in the way. In my case, in the most simplest of form, it was identifying the stuff in the box that was taking up space in my room. Why is it here? It's the same way in your life. What is this belief system? What is this idea that I'm carrying around? And why is it here? So, it brings us to our current seismic event that we had this week, right? Everybody's like flipping out. Donald Trump is the president-elect. What? Why are you surprised? Why are we surprised? We all know that if you put your attention on something, it grows. And everybody had their attention for months and months and months and months and months on Donald Trump. Of course he was going to become president because that's all we focused on as an overall collective community. So, okay, he's the president. I have no judgment for that. Good luck. As a matter of fact, I think we all should be praying for him to do really well. Amen. Get over the anger. Get over the frustration. Get over the false ideas that tell you that when something does not look like what you want it to look like, you want it to fail. Let that go. Because if he fails, we fail. Who's going to feel that? Not Mr. Trump. We're all going to feel that. So why would we want him to fail? Yes, we're angry. Yes, people are hurt. Some people are wounded and devastated because of the woman thing and the race thing and the immigrant thing and all of these things. But thank God he brought it to the surface so that we can take a look at it. Thank God it has bubbled up to the surface so we can take a moment and say, this is our community. This is us. We have chosen this life that we're living, and we collectively created. So don't sit down now that the election is over and get your blame thrower out and start throwing blame at other people for the world that you're living in. This is your world and your choice. Which brings me now back to the rock. Why do we have this rock where we need him or they or them or her to tell us we're okay? Why do we need them to say we are accepted, him to say we're okay, her to say you're deserving? Why do we need them to say you're worthy? There is no such thing, because first of all, there is no them, there's only us, because we are one. So if we don't like us, if they don't like us, it's because we don't like us. If they think we're not worthy, it's because we think we're not worthy. Okay? You have to go inside and become your own counselor and get in alignment with your soul. You were created in the image and likeness of all of the universe. You are created out of magnificence. You are whole. You are complete. You are incredible. And if you are all of that, you do not need validation from anywhere else. No one has to tell you that you're worth a particular salary. No one has to tell you that it's okay for you to be here. No one has to give you permission to be your greatest self. You have to do that. And how do you do that? And it's become now more important than ever for us to stand up and get into our own divinity. Get into your own self. Stop measuring yourself by the standards of others. Stop thinking that I am only limited to this particular way. Let go of whatever old belief got you here that tells you that you can't change. She blew my socks off when she was singing, and she said, what did you say? Sometimes you can move?
You can't move on without roots to grow on.
Sometimes you can, right. And all I heard was you can move and still have roots. Because, you know, some people believe they cannot move. They think they're a tree. And that if they move, they're going to die. Because they can only be in this one way of being. And by that I mean, people think they can't change. They have this idea somewhere along the line. We bought this idea, don't know where you got it, out of the universe. Maybe mommy told you that, or maybe your ex-spouse told you that. That's the way you are and you're never going to change. And you started telling yourself, this is the way I am, I'm never going to change. This is all I am. It's rooted in people, women. We are not good enough. You know, we jump up and down and say, yes, we are, and then we don't live from the place of we are good enough. We live from the place of, yes, but we're still second-class citizens. Because we're giving the power outside of ourselves instead of getting the power within ourselves and knowing that there is no such thing as a first or second-class citizen. They're just citizens. We're just all living here. We're just all growing here. We're just all here together. And now more than ever, the entire humankind is calling us to our greatness. The entire human race is asking you to step up and step into your divinity and bring the gift you came to bring, because each one of us came with something that is powerful, necessary, important, and unique. You have to bring it. You have to sing your song. You have to dance your dance. You have to tell your story. You have to teach. You have to grow. You have to say, I can be more than this, and get up off your butt and learn how to manage your money instead of saying, poor people are going to always be poor. Stop the foolishness. There's no such thing. You have to get up off your butt and stop saying, well, my mother had hypertension, so I'm going to have hypertension, and my kids are going to have hypertension too, so I guess I'm just going to live from that place. No! Get up and start exercising and break the cycle. Break the mental cycle, break the emotional cycle. Break the cycle that says that we are not all equal. But you can only do that with you. Because when you believe that you are great and worthy and magnificent and incredible and perfect and whole, you live from that place. And when you live from that place, as you rise up, you draw others onto you. And you rise up and they rise up. And it becomes a ripple effect. And then we can have a real seismic shift. Not this foolishness that just brought up to the surface what we've been doing all along. Let's make a real shift. Let's say, okay, who am I? What do I want? Let's decide that we want more than just to survive. Let's decide that we want more than just to have enough to retire. Let's decide that we want to make a difference on the planet and not just say we need them to do it for us. We need them to accept us. We need them to say it's okay. We don't need them to do anything because we are a we. And if we just do our part, if we just clean up our section of the world, if we just clean the core of who we are, if we just step into our awareness and our truth about who we are and start living from that place, stop telling yourself you don't know how to manage your money. We've been doing that for 10 weeks now, right? We've been talking about I can manage my money, I have a budget, I know how to do this, the universe is providing for me, and then we took real, tangible steps, because you cannot spiritualize your shift. You have to get up and take active steps to make a shift happen. You got to check the bank balance. You can't just like let the money be there and hope it doesn't bounce. You have to have a budget or your money is never going to grow. You have to have an idea. And guess what? I'm talking about money in a spiritual center. Money is important. We've agreed that that's how we're going to shift things and transfer things from A to B. So you got to have it. You got to talk about it. It's just another spiritual tool. And that's what we're doing. You cannot sit and say, oh God, I don't want to spend the rest of my life alone, and then not make space in your life for somebody to be there. You cannot say, I don't want to spend the rest of my life alone, but you got a whole bunch of stuff piled up on one side of your bed. Who's going to sleep with you? There is no room. You have to make shifts in every aspect. And hear me when I say this. This is holistic. This is not just I'm going to get up and meditate, and I'm going to eat well, and Om Shanti my way into a new existence. There is more to being spiritual than just sitting around and meditating and praying and hoping. That's wishful thinking. You got to get up every day and actively take part in what it is that you'd like to see. So I am inviting everyone here to become an active participant in creating the world that we really want to see, the world that really works for everyone. You have to start with you. You have to do little things like when you get up to the cashier, turn your damn phone off and talk to the person as if they're a human being and validate them and say thank you for bringing up my groceries. You have to stop when you see people, and instead of doing this, you got to stop and say, hi, good morning, make eye contact, smile. Say hello. Tell other people, I see you and you matter. And I know you see me too, because I'm standing up and making sure that you count me. So you get up and you start real tangible steps. I am praying, I am meditating, and I'm getting off my butt. And when I go to work, I am going to be the best cashier, the best milk shaker. I'm going to be the best coffee barista. I'm going to be the best doctor, the best nurse, the best teamster that I possibly can be, and I'm going to bring my light to it, and I'm going to give thanks for the fact that I can do this and be of service, and I'm going to start to look at how I show up in the world as a service instead of it's a job. I'm going to start to take active steps towards what makes my soul sing, what makes my heart smile, what do I want out of my life, what do I really, really desire, and then I'm going to take a risk, and I'm going to be courageous, and I'm going to leap, and just trust that there's going to be a parachute. And you don't have to leap right off the cliff. You could leap off the sidewalk, and it would be okay. You could leap out of bed, and you could start there, wherever your there is. And then you start to examine your pebbles. You start to examine your rock. And if you find that you have a big boulder in your living room that you're kind of walking around and acting like it's not there because you have the appearance of order, look at your boulder and start asking yourself, where did I get this from? When did I become this person? If you ever find yourself saying something like, I used to, when I was younger, or before this happened, I used to be this kind of person, I used to do these kinds of things. Ask yourself, what happened to make me buy into a life that I don't even want? What happened to make me buy into being someone who used to do things that made my soul sing and no longer do that? What debris did I collect along the way that created this rock, this boulder, this bag of pebbles in my life? And you start to get rid of them, and you start to debunk the lie, debunk the story, debunk the survival mechanisms that say, I have to survive life. Life is for living. It's for experiencing. It's for joyous experience. It's not for us to sit here and survive. I mean, seriously? That cannot be why we're all here, is just to make it to the other side, make it across the river, all these other things. Life is here for us to live wholly, fully, completely. Ask yourself, What is the debris that I'm carrying around? What is the thing that I'm believing about myself that's holding me back from the dream? How come I'm not writing all the time? What is going on? How come I'm not singing that song? How come I'm not out doing the things that I really love to do? Why do I see the people out playing in the park and think, oh, that looks like so much fun, but I'm not out in the park playing and having fun? What's holding me back? What's the story that says black people don't do this, Mexican people don't do that, white people don't do this, women don't do that? What's the story that I have come into belief about that's holding me to limitations from my own greatness? What is that? And then you accumulate new thoughts, new behaviors. You have to release yourself from the old mental constructs that keep you so locked and loaded into survival that you're no longer thriving, that you are so happy just to have a little glimpse of happiness. No, you were made to be like, remember when you were a kid and everything was fun? It didn't matter what it was. It was just playing with the dolls was fun. If you didn't have dolls, you played with whatever, the teddy bears, the cars. I'm from Jamaica. We made toys sometimes because we didn't have exactly specifically what we wanted. We got creative and created our own thing. When you were little, but we were always joy-filled. Remember when you were a kid and you ran to everything because you couldn't wait to get there? Because you should be living like that. You should be running to your life. You should be like, ooh, I cannot wait to get with my group because we're going to create this program and it's going to be so good. We're going to help homeless kids and we're going to do all this thing and we're going to obliterate homelessness in our neighborhood. We're going to obliterate ignorance. We're going to obliterate lack of knowledge. We're going to teach other people how to be free. I'm going to be free. I'm going to take some time and do my inner work and take a class for 10 weeks and learn about money. I'm going to take that budget on and confront that thing so I can stop living from lack and limitation. So I can stop being afraid every time my bank statement comes. I'm going to live holy. I want to run to my life like I did when I was 2. The moment we learned to walk, we were like, out of here. Where is it? What is that? Is that a toy? What is over there? Can I see it? How did the world become not that anymore? How did we stop running towards the joy of the experience? And let's go back to that inner place, because that is who you are. The child, the joy-filled, innocent, hope-filled, love-filled, creative, magnificence. Remember when you used to get up early because you couldn't wait to play school with your friends, or you couldn't wait to go outside and play marbles? You couldn't wait. That's how you should be living. You got to get rid of the debris. You got to drop the rock and get into alignment with your soul, because your soul is aching to play. It's aching to run. It's aching to love. It's aching to wrap its arm around your best friend and say, I'm so happy to see you, instead of, hi. You know, your soul wants to freaking play. Let go, drop the rock, let the debris fall away, and let yourself come back into alignment with that place where you can jump out of bed and leap into joy, leap into love, leap into happiness, leap into excitement, leap into unconditional growth and expansion and creative genius. Let yourself go and be free. Release yourself from the restrictions that you have created. Release yourself from the prison that you have made. You know, there's a song, emancipate yourself from mental slavery. It's up to us. We are mentally enslaved, and we are the ones that have to drop the rock, release ourselves, and come into alignment. It's time. Now more than ever, there is a quickening. We can all feel it. No matter how we want to try to act like it's not happening, it's happening all around us. There's a quickening. It's time for the next level. It's time for our next level. And we all are here to participate in it. I'm going to invite you to just take a moment and just take a breath and close your eyes and just breathe and allow yourself to just feel what it would feel like if you were just free in one area of your life. What would it feel like if you could just be free to run towards a dream? What would it feel like if you could just wake up and want to leap out of bed because you were so excited and and so ready for all that life had in store, what would you do if you knew absolutely that God had already prepared the way, and all you had to do was put your foot down on the ground and get out of bed? What would you do? What would your life be like if you thought you had permission to be all that your heart truly desires? You want to take that with you. You want to take that feeling with you, and you want to start to take tangible, measurable steps towards unfolding the magnificence that you have been born, created to do, knowing that God, only God, always God, is always sourcing, fueling, funding every single thing, every bird in the sky, every leaf on the tree, every single molecule, every planet is completely sourced, fueled, funded by the power and presence of God Almighty, God all beauty, God all joy. And it is from that place that you should know absolutely that if everything is in the presence of God, then you too are in its presence. You too are in the magnificent presence of the Creator. And that means you're created out of the very substance of God. Every aspect of your beingness, the breath you take and the activity of your breathing is God Almighty itself. And so with that knowledge, you can step confidently, get up off your butt, step confidently into living the life that your soul came to live. Get back in alignment with your soul. Drop the rock and let go. How good it is to know that this is a truth for each one of us, that there's only love, only God, only peace, only harmony, and that each person here today, forever changed by this moment, steps into the world, living, loving, gleefully skipping towards that which they came to do, giving of themselves, allowing themselves to be more and more of their own true selves, letting go of the debris, allowing things that no longer serve to fade away, that each one of us now stands in our magnificence, saying yes to God Almighty, God all beauty, God all joy, yes to that which brought us here, yes to the commitment that our soul made before it even got here. How grateful I am for this awareness, knowing that that is what we're doing, that I get to stand in proxy and be aware and bear witness to the unfoldment of the magnificence of this community as it ripples out and creates a new seismic shift of love, of joy, of tolerance, of beauty, of prosperity, and so much more than words can ever express. I give thanks for this as I let these words go into the loving activity of the law of God Almighty. I know it is already done, and we say, and so it is. Amen.